What's going on, guys? Chandler here. So this is going to be my new segment on my YouTube channel called First Listen Review that is taken from my $5 tier full album reactions. So I react to the entire album, and then at the very end I give my overall thoughts and initial thoughts and a score on the album as a whole. So again, if you do like what you see and want to support the channel going forward, head over to patreon.com/ChandlerBurtonEntertainment. This is exclusive to the $5 tier. Again, you get a full album reaction, review, and a whole bunch of other perks as well if you guys are interested. And again, there's always a link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the review, and thank you all so much for watching. Man, that was a weird outro, but man, dude, what an album, dude. So unique, so fresh. Yeah, man, these guys are super sick. So I'm going to give my first listen review, which is again just kind of my overall thoughts and a score, and that is coming up next, so stick around for that. Alright, my friends, so again, that was the band Darko US with their album Ani. We just got done jamming the entire thing here. Man, what an experience this was, dude. I enjoyed everything about this album. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am more of a metalcore guy. You know, I love bands like, Wage War, Fit for a King, Era, Currents, like Moths to Flames, like bands like that are generally what I like, because I love singing in my music, but I also do love the heaviness of music. But there's something about these guys that I really enjoy. Like, again, I generally don't listen to like super duper heavy music, but something about Darko and again, like Brand of Sacrifice and some other bands here really just stick out to me, going like, man, these guys are so unique. So I'm super excited to dive in and tell you some of my pros and top 3 songs, everything. So let's go and just jump right into it here. So pro number 1 is that every song on this album stands out. No one song sounds the same. There may be a couple of similar breakdowns in there, but every song had either like a really unique style to it, or had a really unique sound to it here, or maybe because of Tom's voice it made it sound different here. Also with the features on there, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Like everything about these songs, all 15 of them, even beginning and redo, which are just intro and outro tracks, they still felt fresh. They still felt new, maybe a little bit weird, but it was still really like fresh and new. And I thought it was really fantastic that every song of this album is different, and I think that's so cool. That's so hard to pull off, especially with 15 songs. I thought they did a really good job making every song just stand out, kind of making it their own thing. I think that's way harder to do than what people think, so props to these guys here. Also, I got to give props to Tom here. His vocals are so good. Like, he's in so many projects, again, mainly Chelsea Grin and Darko, and his vocals just sound fresh. They sound like he's really doing everything correctly, just clear, heavy. It just sounds so fantastic here. As I said, I actually prefer Darko over Chelsea Grin. I am still excited for Chelsea Grin's new stuff, but Darko, I think, like, Tom is just absolutely killing it. Just absolutely incredible vocalist through and through. Absolutely terrific here. I also, like, I don't know, man, like, this album feels, as I said before, this album and the self-titled, the first album, it's just so fresh and it's so new. I have never heard anything like these guys before. Everything about it is just so unique and so clever. I just love the way both these albums sound, because I went back and listened to their first album before I jammed this one, and again, like, it's just, this album is the first album but ×2. Like, I just thought it was absolutely terrific all the way through. So both these albums are so fresh and so unique. It really makes them stand out amongst all these other bands that are trying to do something, and within the metal scene per se. And again, I'd say pro number 4 is that they had some great features, great features on this album. Again, we had Crystal Lake, we had Brand of Sacrifice, we had Dayseeker, we had Left to Suffer, we had Unity TX. Like, we had all these unique bands on this, like, album. And again, especially the Unity TX one, Evolving, I thought that song was really cool because it kind of let Shallon do a little bit of his rap style like it does in Unity TX. And I just thought it was so cool that they let him do kind of his own thing, and everybody stood out on the album. Again, everything about this album is so perfectly crafted and fresh and new. It really makes them stand out, as I keep saying. I can't praise this album enough. So again, on a first initial listen, I do not have any cons with this album. There may be the similar, again, breakdown that may sound the same or kind of, you know, a little bit samey structure in some of the songs. But again, it's all saved by the really cool, like, atmospherics in the background, the cool electronic noises, Tom's vocals, those types of things. So everything about it, that there is one part I'm like, you know, it kind of sounds the same as the last song. They throw something in there to make it sound different, to kind of add a layer to it. And again, I think that's so freaking cool. The guitar work is already spectacular, but adding some other stuff on there makes it just absolutely wonderful. And so on first initial listen, there are no cons, which again, on a 15-track album, I'd say that's pretty good. Top 3 favorite songs from this album here. Again, really hard to choose because, again, I legitimately enjoyed just about every song on the album here. I gotta say, number 1, Hyperkill featuring Rio from Crystal Lake. Thought that song was really cool, super unique, heavy all the way through. I really enjoyed that one here. Second one is Rosanna or Rosina's Fingers, I'm sorry. Eyes, I don't know what's going on here. Featuring Kyle of Brand of Sacrifice. Again, I love Brand of Sacrifice, so again, anything he features on, I absolutely love. So super cool song, really heavy all the way through. My favorite song, though, actually, again, these are never in any particular order, I just write them down, is probably Evolving, featuring Shallon of Unity TX. All the songs that I'd love to have, you know, features on them, which I think is really cool. Again, I love that they let Shallon kind of do his own thing, like do a little bit of rapping, and that song still really stuck out to me here, and I thought that song was super sick all the way through. So again, probably my favorite song on the album, super unique, and again, those are my top 3 songs from the album. Again, that may change as I listen to it more and more, which I do plan on doing, but as of right now, those are the top 3 songs that stuck out to me. When it comes to like 2022 in regards to media, when it comes to like, honestly, there haven't really been a lot of video games for me here to really pick up and play. There's like Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope coming out here, which I'm excited for, which again, really excited for that game, but there really hasn't been much in the way of like video games. Also with movies, like I feel like I haven't been in the theater in like 2 months, and I love going to the movie theater. That's like my favorite thing to do in the entire world. I love seeing, but there's just been nothing out that interests me. The next movie I'm seeing is Halloween Ends, and then Black Panther or Wakanda Forever, which is again like still a little bit farther out there. The reason why I say that is because while those 2 media things that I love are lacking, music has been absolutely fantastic this year. There's been so many good releases, and this album, Darko US, is up there with one of the best albums of the year. And again, that's why it's so hard to make a top 10 albums of 2022, because there's been so many good releases and we're not even done yet. There's still a bunch more bands that I'm super excited to be checking out at the end of the year. And again, it's just going to get harder and harder to make a top 10 albums of 2022. This album just stood out to me. Again, it felt fresh, it felt new, it felt exciting, it was heavy, it was melodic when it needed to be. Again, really cool features, great guitar work, great vocals, everything that I love about music. And again, I generally like metalcore, generic metalcore. Like I'm that guy. Like I love generic metalcore, but Darko stands out to me as one of the best, heavier bands I've discovered through doing YouTube and through doing reactions. Again, if it wasn't for reaction videos, I never would have probably discovered Darko. So I'm super grateful for reaction channels and being able to discover them myself by jamming their first album, have the opportunity to jam this album with you guys here. This album is hype. It's so good. It's so exciting. Again, fresh, new. This album is an easy 10 out of 10. I really hope this makes it on my top 10 albums of 2022. I literally am going to need to sit down and figure out, okay, what albums are going to make it on here. I definitely want this one to make it. If it doesn't, it will absolutely be an honorable mention for sure, but I'm really hoping this album makes it on there. Again, I got to go through my entire list of albums that I've done. I've reacted to like almost 50 albums this year, and so there's a lot to pick from. So I'm hoping this will make it on there. I have a feeling that it might. Super sick album.